Hola a todos. Welcome back to Blanco Talks Madrid. And yeah, I did promise you, man, I was gonna do more content now in and now that I've got my private stuff out of the way. And yeah, man, back to what it should be in it. So come on. And look who I've got with me, yeah? Anyone who follows me knows who this guy is in it, yeah? Mad lad Savi, yeah? Come on. Hey Savi, what are you saying, my brother? You good?
Yeah, Sam, everything's good. Excited today. We have some Club World Cup football. It's going on right down the street from me. Full stadium, packed house, good weather. I'm excited, man. Today's a good day.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's one hell of a day, man. And yeah, bro, there's been how do I say this? Quite a lot of stuff in it that's happened now that we've seen over this past day in it that's happened. I can't lie regarding transfers. There's a lot
Oh,
of stuff.
oh yeah, Sam. I mean, we can get right into it if you want on the transfer front. But the one thing I've just like taking a step back regarding Real Madrid this summer, and I think we've been saying this for a few months, but there was intent this summer in terms of the prospects that we identified nice and early. Dean Hoyson, for example, right? Even in Alvaro Carreras. These were names that since the beginning of May, Madrid has been clearly locked in on. We stayed the course. We got ourselves Trent first, made it happen for the Club World Cup. We got Dean before the Club World Cup, brought him in. Looks like we're going to be getting Carreras as soon as this Club World Cup is over. So either that announcement's coming this week or next week, depending on how tomorrow goes, which we'll get into. And it seems like, again, there's intent with all of these signings. I know we got Franco as well. He was a name we've been linked with for 2 years now. Got him across the finish line. But this is the first time we've seen this much action in the summer in 7 years, I want to say, right? And since
Yeah.
2019 was probably the most active we were in a summer
And
like
before
this.
that, I didn't see this much action since what 2016-17 season. We're going back crazy days now.
Exactly, right. And that's the exciting part for me is more so, we have a club that is moving in a way that we can all kind of rally behind as fans. We're always, anxious for the new shiny toy. The club's giving us something to look forward to. On top of that, let's be honest. The biggest signing this summer is not a single player. The biggest signing this summer is Xavi Alonso. And Xavi Alonso, I don't want to understate it, but he has been a blessing for Real Madrid so far. And I know it's early signs, but so far Xavi Alonso has brought a playing style to the field. Xabi Alonso has taken different lineups, injured players, red cards happening. And in spite of all this madness that's happened in the Club World Cup, to me, the single most important signing was getting Xabi Alonso out of Leverkusen and into Madrid. Because for me, I also think that this now sparks the next iteration of Real Madrid. We're finally closing the chapter on what was an ultra successful season or a couple seasons under Carlo Ancelotti, right? He was here for 4 years. We won two doubles. But at the same time, I think we all had this feeling on the inside. We want to be honest. We were playing what I like to say archaic football. I want to be clear here. Carlo Ancelotti had tactics. He had playing styles. They may not have meshed with the modern games, though. And I think that's where a lot of our frustrations come from is we're watching, Luis Enrique have a PSG team pressing left and right. We're watching a Hansi Flick come into Barcelona and bring this high line and a completely different way of playing. We're watching Pep Guardiola doing it over at City, right? Arne Slot doing it over at Liverpool. Arteta did it to us, right, in the Champions League, right? Just changes, reactiveness, just more of an input. I want a coach that puts their imprint on a game and doesn't just wait on it. So that's what I want to say about what happened with the Carlo era. I'm just happy that we've closed that chapter because it goes right back to my point. This breath of fresh air with Xabi Alonso, for me, gives us so much to look forward to as Madrid fans. And I think that's why you can kind of hear it in my voice, right? Like I'm excited, like personally, compared to
Yeah,
how we
man.
were 6 months ago.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what we watched last season was diabolical. And real talk, mate, I did not recognize my club one bit what I was watching last season. That was just a pile of crap. to be honest with you. We spoke about the transfer. We've said we've actually finally decided to move serious. The targets we've signed. What do you feel about the players that we've signed so far? Hoyson for me has been unbelievable, personally. Unbelievable.
Yeah, let's start with Hoyson. How about we go one by one, right? Let's start with Hoyson. I think this is a player who, for me personally, a year ago, if you would have asked me who Dean Hoyson was, I would not have known. As someone who just doesn't follow the Premier League as much, I watch La Liga pretty much religiously myself. I didn't know really much about this Dean Hoyson kid. I know last summer we were linked with Lenny Yoro, who looks like, by the way, he's going to be a good prospect anyways. I think we all felt like, hey, we missed out on that new young center back. And throughout the year, we kind of saw it play out in a sense, right? We were putting Tchouaméni back at center back. We found this gem in Asensio out of nowhere, right, that none of us knew about last year. But I still think that all of us had this feeling like, hey, we need to bring in another center back. And at the top of all of our lists, you remember we were talking about this 6-7 months ago, right? It was names such as Arsenal's William Saliba. It was Konate over at Liverpool, right? We were going down the list of like, what center backs can we bring in at Madrid? None of us had Dean Hoyson on our list. And then I have to give the kid credit because 6 months ago, he probably wasn't even on Madrid's radar, but circumstances changed over at Bournemouth for him, right? 2 starting center backs got injured. He got his chance and he never looked back in the mirror. What we saw over the past 6 months was just an explosive rise of a young center back, happened to be Spanish. We happened to watch him play, right, in the Spanish national team. And all of us were like, hey, what about this kid, right? Like, let's take a chance on it. Man, it only took him 1/2 against Al Hilal for us to say, yeah.
That is one thing that I will give this football club credit, because as much as I can stick on this club, and I do a lot, and you know me, and it's from time, and you know how easily I can stick these guys in. The one thing I give credit is their scouting is almost perfect, which is why I will never slag the scouting part. I think what they do with the scouting is unbelievable. And listen, fair play to Hoyson, because Hoyson was like, even a couple of months ago, he was like, yeah, a couple of friends have said, yo, you're being linked to Madrid. He didn't even believe in it himself until we actually went in for him. So you got to give the kid credit, man. He literally has, he's done what he could apart from that sending off, but we're going to get into that later. Then obviously we've got Trent, Carreras coming in, and then Konate. I'm going to get into Konate a bit later after these two, because that is something that we're seeing could happen. When it comes to Trent and Franco, what are your thoughts on them two now coming in as well?
Yeah, start with Trent, right? Trent.
Oh, now Soviet decided to disappear. Honestly, I StreamYard. People, you man better fix up, man. Real talk. Yeah, Soviet will be back any minute. I think it's just StreamYard just choosing to be a dick. I hope everyone's doing well, man. Smash these likes up, people. Midway, bro. This is not the first time. Sovi, they want to see what StreamYard's trying to do, brother. They're already trying to ruin everything.
They are. Did it kick you as well? Or was that just me?
Yeah, no. It kicked me the first time when you saw me come off the screen. That's because they kicked me. Now they kicked you.
Yeah. Now they kicked.
But anyways, where we left up. Your thoughts on Trent and Franco?
Yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, for all the fans out there, he's a global name, well-known, super successful right back. Plied his trade in Merseyside of Liverpool. Built a name from nothing, right? What can I say about him, though? I have mixed thoughts.
Oh, my days. StreamYard, bro, I'm going to absolutely kill you. Oh, my Jesus Christ. This, bro, I'm going to have a serious conversation with this app, mate. I swear down. Nah, this is actually, fucking hell. Big ups there, brother. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well, brother. And, yeah, man, this stream has started absolutely horribly because StreamYard wants to act like an absolute Yeah, Mustafa, bro, like always, bro. They always do this shit, man.
It's honestly all good. It's all good. We'll get right back to it. So on Trent, right? Before he joined Madrid, I was very much aware of his defensive issues. He had deficiencies. I'll be clear there. And I always understood that while he had defensive deficiencies, he also possessed a certain skill set that's pretty rare for fullbacks or even center backs, and that is when he's on the ball, he's like a midfielder in a sense, right? It's like having another midfielder out there, another person I want to be cautious because a lot of people like to say dictate tempo and things like that and get carried away. I don't want to go that far. What I want to say is when in possession, Trent Alexander absolutely is a positive to our team. And we've seen it right away. And I also think coming off of the season in which we watched Lucas Vazquez for an entire year try to hold down the right back position by no fault of his own, by the way. He was a loyal soldier of ours, 6 times Champions League winner. Problem is, modern football has passed him by, right? He's on the older side of decline. We watched Rafinha absolutely barbecue roast this guy 4 times in Clásicos this season without any ability to.
And that's just Barca. We haven't even mentioned the other clubs that absolutely destroyed him. Oh my Jesus Christ! StreamYard, I swear down, I'm going to knock one of you out one by one, mate. Yeah, rule talk. Now, rule talk. StreamYard, you're taking the piss now, mate.
It is, but it's okay. We'll keep it going. So with Trent, what I can say is when I look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's added to our team. And I think he adds an extra element that makes teams have to think. I've seen and especially our build-up play, which is something we struggled with last season, right? Teams were able to press us pretty simple, and we weren't able to escape the press whatsoever. This year, having Trent, especially on the right side, having Tchouaméni dropping in between the center backs, which we'll get into, just allows us to escape pressure. Although I've seen him get cooked in every single game we've played, it hasn't exactly cost us as much as we thought it would, I think, initially. So I give Trent a solid so far, like 7 out of 10 in terms of his performances with us. The assists are there. He's going to keep getting them. And I think as he gets more and more synergy with the team, we're going to see the overall performances improve as well. The other thing I like from Trent is that his one-on-one defending in particular has been pretty decent, actually. Like, I've seen him put in some good stops, especially when we played against Juventus. I think that was a good test for me, right? He had to go against Yildiz one-on-one. I know he needed some help, and we ended up dropping Fede Valverde in there to help cover for Yildiz and Tchouaméni. However, overall, I think Trent's been so far so good. I have higher expectations from him, though, because keep in mind, right, it's easy to say all this based off the season we just had with Lucas Vazquez. However, if this was a year ago and it was coming off the season that Carvajal had, I'm not necessarily sure I'm going to have the same opinion. I'll be honest with you. Like, I still have to be proven by Trent. Like, he has to show me this elite level that I saw from Carvajal for 2 years consistently, where it was like, this is hands down
he's been held
in world football, right? Like, I'm not ready to anoint Trent yet in that sense. Still has to show us, but so far, he's definitely up the levels of our right back compared to last year.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing. He's playing as a right wing back even as well. That's helping him out a lot as well. The only issue is going to be when he's got trickle wingers coming out, Fede and Tchouaméni, all these men, either Rudiger, whoever is on that right centre back spot is going to have to help him out. But yeah, and in terms of Franco now, we've got him coming in as well. Salvi, you watch that league much more than I do. I barely watch that league, but you've all told me he's the next big thing coming out of Argentina. So yeah, enlighten me, man. Enlighten me. What do you think about him? How do you see his future being here at Madrid?
Yeah, what I'll say is, and I want to be careful here because Franco is Argentinian, coming from River Plate, arguably top 2 or 3 largest.
I am listening. Just 2 seconds. I am listening.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Franco comes from River Plate, one of the largest institutions in South American football. So I want to be clear. This kid's been playing under the fire for the last 2 years. He has had a role at River Plate that essentially the coach built around him, which is Gallardo. He built the team essentially to funnel everything through Franco. Franco was everything when it comes to attack. He was responsible for delivering the final ball, scoring goals. The entire offensive pressure and weight of that team was put on Franco. They gave him this because they believed in him. And if you listen to especially a lot of the people down in Argentina, I've been watching it for the last 2 years pretty consistently. I started watching a lot of South American football because I Endrick a couple of years back and just kind of heard the Franco thing. And I was like, I'm just going to keep going and follow along. And what I can say is that when we got Endrick, we paid a lot of money. And I said it at the time when we paid for Endrick, he has an elite ability to score goals. However, I felt like his game was very unpolished, right? still, in my opinion, had to learn the fundamentals of the game, how to position himself, just the basics of the game. He's still, you could tell we're not there. What I can say about Franco is, in my opinion, his development is a lot further along than Endrick, actually, in that sense. He had a proper footballing structure, a proper coach at Gallardo at River Plate, right? He understands how to play the game. Whereas with Endrick, I still feel like he's a bit raw, and that's where that kid needs minutes in a sense. We can get into that if you want at some point. But with Franco, we're getting a more polished talent. My only concern is I'm not necessarily sure what position he's going to play, just because looking at what we've done so far in the Club World Cup, we haven't deployed a right wing, right? We've played essentially a 3-5-2, a 4-4-2, and some iterations of both throughout the game, right? And if that's inherently the case, that means there's not a proper right winger, right? A right forward winger. That's where Franco plays for River Plate. However, in my opinion, I have some concerns with him actually developing in that right wing role, because to me, he doesn't have the elite athleticism that I think you need at the highest levels of European football. If you think about who plays right wings at the top clubs, they're all great athletes, right? That can get up and down the field, cover the flanks, get up into the opponent's box. Whereas with Franco, to me, he is probably better served in some sort of like pseudo hybrid 10 position, a little bit closer to the striker in a sense. Somewhat like Arda, but he's more athletic and can actually play on the wing, right? Whereas like Arda can't play the wing at all. He doesn't have the motor. So we'll see how Xavi adjusts and uses him in that position. But Franco is going to be a good addition.
I swear Franco said this himself. He likes to play as a right winger. I swear he even said that himself. I swear I heard Franco somewhere say that. He sees himself more as a right winger.
He's done it, but you also have to understand the level of competition he's done it against, right? And you know me, I'm a big proponent of like, don't ever overlook South American football. Like they play on potato patches and 5,000 kilometers above sea level. Like you go play there and tell me how easy that is. However, at the same time, he gets away with the lack of athleticism in South America more so than he'll get away with it in Europe. I'll be completely honest, right? Like when you're going against, you know, a Nuno Mendes, right, and you're a right winger, like you got to be athletic. When you're going against a Balde, you got to be athletic, right? Like think about it, Cambiaso from Juve, like go down the list of these elite. Limar at Bayern. Like if you're not athletic, all those guys are just gonna use their athleticism to drown you out. So we'll see how that plays out. But he's a super intelligent player.
Yeah, 100%, man. Ayo, smash these likes up, people. Come on, smash these likes up. And make sure you subscribe and go follow Savi on Twitter, man. Come on, he's an absolute real one. And bro, Rule Talk, there's another geezer now as well. Will be linked to Ibrahim Konate. He's got 1 year left. Next season, if he doesn't renew, out on a free. And you know, we've already done this with Trent. We've done this with so many players, Mbappe, etc. Now, I've got one theory. If Rodrigo is sold, and that's if he gets sold, I would actually pay Liverpool, because they're saying that they want to rather sell him than lose him on a free. And if this is true that he wants to come to Madrid and no other place, I would rather than pay some money up front, whether that's 30 or 40. I'm not saying anything crazy, nothing major, but pay them a bit of money, like a 25, 30, 35 million, and get him out there. So therefore, you have insurance that your defense gets much better. Because Rudiger, mate, the more I look at him, and listen, as much as I shit on Alaba, yeah, and I do shit on Alaba a lot, but bro, I do not trust. I'm starting to lose more and more faith in Rudiger. I don't know about you.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, right? Because I felt like a few weeks ago
Honestly, StreamYard, I'm going to kick your ass when I'm done. Rule Talk. Yeah, this is embarrassing. StreamYard stinker and disaster.
It might even be my internet. If it does it again, I'm just going to connect to my hotspot on my phone.
All right. If it is, then fair enough. Then I might have blamed StreamYard for nothing. Go on, Jim.
No, it's okay, though. So I felt like a few weeks ago, the conversation, like after we got Dean, we're going to the Club World Cup, everybody's feeling kind of confident. It was like all harmony, right? Even before like the Rodrigo leaving rumors really heated up. And then we played a couple World Cup games, right? We played the first game and it was like, all right, this is all right. Asensio gets the red card in the second game after 2 minutes, and all of a sudden it was like, does Madrid need a center back? Then we played the third game, and we saw Rudiger's performance, and we were like,
oh, there we go again. Yeah, bro. I know the connection is needed. Oh my days, man. All right, listen. We're gonna try again. If he comes back in and bro, it's his internet thing, bro, then it's a different story.
It's a joke.
I hope you connect the other thing now.
We played the fourth game. And in the fourth game, listen, I told you Xavi Alonso's our biggest signing. I know Xavi Alonso knows a million times more about this sport than we do.
Oh,
I know that Xavi Alonso has already identified good profiles to come join this team because he already understands the deficiencies. I find it not surprising that after the last game we played, here we are 2 days later, and look what's in the media, right? Like look what's already being reported. I don't find any of this to be coincidental, is what I'm saying. Like, especially because think about it, right? It's like it's Marco reporting it, which is getting their talking points from the Madrid PR department saying, hey, this is what we need you to run for the week, right? Like, put the Konate stuff out there, like do this. And for me, I'm just kind of taking a step back and looking at the picture holistically and saying, Xavi's been asking for that extra center back, right? Pretty much this entire time, right? Remember when we were linked with Hincapié, Hato? This was like in May after we got Dean. You remember that? It was like after Dean. You remember we were linked with them and they were saying Xavi still wants a center back?
Yeah.
To me, what it speaks to is that I think Xavi sees what me and you see and what a lot of Madrid fans see, and that is this Rudiger guy, we don't exactly know what we're going to get from him.
Has he been rushed back? Because I'm starting to think he's been rushed back, man. Real talk from that surgery.
You see, this is my pushback on it. Is anything that you see about Rudiger, does it look like there is a physical deficiency or some sort of physical limitation? Like, oh, he couldn't catch up to a forward, or he couldn't jump high enough, like on a header. Like, is there anything physically screaming to you? That's because to me, it's not. Like, everything I'm mad at Rudiger about are mental things, like poor positioning, like letting the Dortmund forward run right through your box, forcing Dean to then make
what he did for that second goal Dortmund scored, the way he just let my man cut through, and Dean had to sacrifice himself. And that was
how about the first goal? What type of clearance was that with your left foot? So again,
I even forgot about that one. Yeah, no.
So to my point,
Rudiger had a howler.
I don't necessarily know if this news coming this week is just like Konate and Liverpool side. I think there's an element of Madrid here that's also helping to amplify it in a sense, right? Of like, hey, we know like something might be up with Rudiger. Let's start pushing Marca to, start publishing, rumors about Konate and see how.
Oh my Jesus Christ, bruv. StreamYard, honestly, I'm gonna send them a big flipping message after this stream. The only reason I'm not gonna swear.
I'm never doing this again. I'm gonna do it on a hotspot, or I'm gonna connect next time. I promise. Because this.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries.
Third. However, so then just to kind of wrap that up, Sam, think about it, right? Like it's Tuesday, right? We're 2 days removed from that game, in which we all universally were like,
"This is not a coincidence."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if it's true, I'll be pretty happy because I've changed my position. I got to be honest on something. Like I've been pretty against like bringing in another signing this summer. I think you know that. I've been one of the biggest like, no, we're not getting anyone else.
Yeah, and you and I have had lots of arguments about this as well.
If that door is open for Konate this summer, go and get him. Like, and don't even think twice.
So what changed your position now compared to when I was saying it? Was because you didn't think Rudiger was going to be this bad? Correct?
Exactly. I didn't think.
Wow. All right. I'll just reiterate what he said. Yeah, exactly. I didn't think Rudiger was going to be this bad, even despite coming back from surgery. Bro, real talk, I did warn them about this thing. And so when people see me being stressed over and over and over and over again, bruv, I'm stressed for a reason. Why? Because Huijsen's not there. Chouameni's not there, bro. Look who's there instead. You've got flipping that idiot Alaba yeah, who we've all seen what he does. As soon as he comes onto the pitch, either he scores an own goal or he drops down to the floor and he lets the other fucking attacker, yeah, just spin him in 1,000 ways, and then the opposition just go and score. So that's a no out. So that's not an alternative. Then you've got fucking Militao. 2 ACLs my man's come off of. Bruv, real talk. Yeah, real talk. I don't even think he's that. And if people are going to sit here and blame flipping, what's it called? Rudiger for his pace. That guy has probably lost all his pace now. And that was one thing you could actually say about Militao. Yeah, you are very quick to get back at defenders using your pace. But if your pace is gone, man, yeah, I don't see what more Militao can do. So when people ask me, why am I so stressed? Well, this is why I am stressed, because I kept telling people this. You cannot have a crap defense. We had a crap defense last season, and look how messed up it got. Which is why I was so angry. Not just for the Cruz that we didn't replace him, but the fact that we did not replace Nacho. I don't think people realize how stupid that was until the season finished. I think the clubs looked at this now, and even Chavez looked at this and said, nah, mate, do you know what? I am not walking into this season with having Alaba and Rudiger and Militao as my backups. It's not happening. So listen, Salve, I don't know why you've changed your mind all of a sudden when I warned you, but you've clearly changed, and that's good to see. But I'd like to know why. What's made you change now?
Yeah, the biggest reason, and I'm on my mobile hotspot now, so yeah, we shouldn't have any more issues. So quickly here, I didn't expect Rudiger's level to drop this drastically. I thought we were going to be able to get through another year with Rudiger and Dean, right? Asensio is a backup. And then we obviously know Militao, Alaba is like fourth, fifth options are going to be there, right? Like no matter what, they were going to be there. The Rudiger drop in performance is what I'm concerned about, because I don't know if he can start for Real Madrid for 70 games this season. I really don't, and give us a high level. So if that's the case, I'm not saying Rudiger needs to leave. In fact, I think he's good enough to be in the squad. But I don't know if he should be the starter next to Dean for the big games, right? The 50-game stretch that we need from a starter at Real Madrid, right? So that's where my concern level is coming from. Is that Rudiger as a backup is perfectly fine. It's the question of like, can you rely on Rudiger as your starting center back for X amount of games that's required? And I don't know if we can. I mean, this past season was not a good indicator at all, right? His level dropped tremendously compared to a season ago. And that's exactly where my concern comes from, Sam. It's at the end of the day, if you can't provide that level that we need you to at Real Madrid, then it's imperative on the board to go and find that player. And if we have the market opportunity, if we can get Konate for like 40 million, don't even think twice. Go and do it and figure out what to do on the back end, whether it's Alaba's contract and you have to buy him out in the last year, even though he doesn't want to go, just pay him his money. Figure out something with Mendy. Like those two players in particular, not being healthy, having these long-term contracts. Militao is a different story to me just because of his age. At 26 years old, the level he's shown us in the past, you keep him in the squad, especially because he's already signed on long-term, right? It would make no sense to get rid of Militao, plus you're not going to get any money for him. And I also think he's got the best chance out of those three I just mentioned between Mendy, Alaba, and Militao. I think Militao has the best chance to actually recover his form and get back to a somewhat decent to good center back again. And I know you're going to go, oh, but how can somebody who blew 2 ACLs? The key is on that, Sam, he blew 1 ACL and then he blew the other ACL. And I know you're going to be like, oh, but that's both knees. ACL injuries recover a lot better these days. And it only happened 1 time to each knee. So in my opinion, just given his age, like you keep him there, you make him your 4th, 5th center back. You figure out something between Alaba and Mendy because it's just not good enough, right? We can't afford to be paying these Alaba wages. He plays no minutes. Mendy plays a month and then he's out for 3. And then by the time he recovers form, it's halfway through the season, right? We can't really afford that either. So I think there's going to have to be a tough decision made between one of those two. I'll be pretty frank. And I know it's going to be tougher with Mendy just because he has a longer contract. But somebody has to like sit Alaba down and be like, this is the reality of the situation, bud. We can give you your money up front, the Hazard way, right? Because remember, remember how they floated, oh, yeah, he did such a favor to the club, X, Y, and Z. And then you find out that the club literally paid him 95% of the money they owed him, but literally just to fuck off. That's what they have to do for Alaba. You know what I'm saying? Just if it's 24 million, I think it's 24 million he's getting, give him 23 and a half and tell him see the front door. You have to pay it anyway.
Yeah, bro, I'm at that point now because I don't want to see Alaba anywhere near this team. Like, I can't stand the geezer. Every time he even walks into close to even entering the pitch, I'm going crazy. I don't want to see that absolute moron anywhere near my team. But this Militao thing, Savi, listen, I'm going to say this. I admire that you have so much confidence in Militao, bro. I just think, bro, 2 ACLs. And the way this geezer has, the way for me he was performing even last season before he even got the second one, bro, I was not confident in him one bit. Listen, I hope he proves me wrong. If he proves me wrong, we need to spend less money. And then I don't need to mention a Saliba. Yeah, and any Arsenal fan in the chat knows exactly where I'm about to go. Yeah, but I think why the club is now getting linked to both of them as well. Yeah. Oh, god damn it. But no, listen. I admire what Savi does. I admire what he does, man. He backs Militao. He backs the geezer. Listen, fair play to the guy. All right, fair play, bro. I personally have given up on him. I personally don't see how Militao is going to return back to a Madrid level because here's the one thing I'm going to tell everyone on this stream as well. It doesn't matter if you come back for me. What matters for me is that you come back healthy, number one. Number two, that you're actually a Madrid standard level. Because if you're not, you're just a person taking wages from this club, taking money from this club, and not being good enough. So listen, I'm willing to wait and see what happens with Militao. But if the guy does not, big up Guti. But if the guy does not perform, yeah, then we're gonna have another conversation.
Now, Sam. With the Militao thing, right? And I know you mentioned it that he didn't look good in the beginning of the season. I just want to put the obvious out there. Him and Rudiger were never going to be a successful pairing at center back, ever.
Rudiger and Militao, yeah?
It's never looked good. Even, do you remember pre-ACL who his center back pair was? Alaba. It was Alaba. Yeah. It was Alaba. Remember when we won the Champions League, it was him and Alaba. Him and Rudiger sample size has never looked good. ACL or not, those two are just not a good pairing. And
I think the one game I will give them credit was City. Actually, we got spanked in the second leg, but actually City Madrid, the 2022-23 season at the Bernabeu. I think they did fairly well. I know De Bruyne scored that worldie, but that I don't blame necessarily on any of them. But that's the only time. Otherwise, no, I do hear you. As a pairing, they didn't work together. No.
And I actually think that one thing Militao is good at is he's good in possession, and we know this. Like, he's actually good with the ball. Is he Dean Huijsen? No, he's not Dean. Dean's elite. And by the way, I just saw a stat right now. As a DM. Dean is insane, by the way. I just saw a stat.
He can literally play as a DM. Let's just be honest, man. He can.
He leads us in like every passing statistic. Progressive passes, passes out of the everything. Literally, I can go down the stat list, but I think what's important to understand.
He's putting Toni Kroos passes in. Let's just be honest. The way he can read a game.
Right, and I do think that gives you flexibility in terms of a partner for Dean, right? And the thing, though, is, again, even though Dean offers you a lot of this flexibility, in spite of that, somehow the guy next to him is still looking like a bozo, and that's my problem. It's like you have the kid next to you who literally doesn't make a wrong decision besides that red card, which is terrible, doesn't put a foot in wrong, anticipates tackles amazing. Like, what more could you ask for the guy next to you? And then you have Antonio Rudiger out here doing who knows what. And that's honestly where, again, I think that we may have struck fool's gold that season in terms of last season with Rudiger. That was probably the best Rudiger ever of his entire career.
And look who it was. And look who was with him. Asensio. And look what he did.
Well, no. Not this past season. I'm talking about when we won the Champions League.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And his center back pairing was Tchouaméni. Keep that in mind. Who, by the way, I have a lot more confidence in.
Yeah, sure. He's become another player now on the champion. That guy has become something else now. And this is the Tchouaméni we all expected to see. and I'm very, very happy for him. But before we go, it's one final thing. Semi-final, Paris Saint-Germain. Huijsen's out. They've got Pacho and Lucas Hernandez out. Pacho looks like he's going to miss the whole tournament now, so even if they go through, he won't even be there. But we don't have Huijsen now, and that's immediately said to me that I don't think we will win. I said PSG will win 2-1. But if Xabi proves me wrong, if he genuinely proves me wrong, I will hold my hands up and say, yeah, you know what, fair enough. The only way I see us winning, well, number one, we've got to be super clinical before I bring you in. And this guy, Asensio, because we all know he's going to play. I better not see one of these bozo moments where he's rash and then he brings my man down, gets himself a red card, or gives away a stupid pen, because he has got that in him and he has to get that out of him as soon as possible. But yeah, mate, that's the only reason how I can see us win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then Guti, we'll get to your question too. But when it comes to the PSG Madrid tie, I'll be the first to say that, yes, I know PSG are going to be missing Pacho. He is their best center back. Lucas Hernandez doesn't even start, so like that's kind of like whatever to me. He was never going to start. I think that the Dean absence on our end is going to be much more impactful in terms of the things that we're trying to do on the field, especially in build-up. Right, PSG is going to press the living daylights out of us.
Yeah,
it's what they do. They run like madmen for 90 minutes because they can. And where I have concerns is I'm thinking back to last season. Our biggest issues in terms of build-up started with the lack of the ability from the center backs to distribute the ball. And while
Asensio in this game,
Asensio can hit a ball, but it doesn't mean that he's good at hitting the ball, right? I want to be clear at that. Yes, he'll hit you with a dime over the top maybe once a season for 40 yards and a one-touch goal like he did for Asensio or for Mbappe. However, consistently, repeatedly throughout a match, Dean Huijsen gets 100 touches and has a 97% accuracy on his pass accuracy rating, right? Like, that's elite. That is absolutely elite, right? That is midfielder-esque. Asensio and Rudiger can't touch that.
No.
So I'm concerned that against PSG, because the high press, we're then going to be forced to bypass the midfield and do exactly what we did literally all last year, and that is play direct. Thibaut Courtois is punting balls up to a striker that has no interest in fighting for a ball, and we're just giving the ball right back to PSG and letting Vitinha, Joao Neves, and Fabian Ruiz just sit there and dictate pace on us, right? And if we do that, it's going to be a long day. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be a long 90 minutes for us, because you cannot, let's just be honest, Vitinha at this moment in time is the best midfielder in the world in terms of form, accomplishments. How can you say there's a better midfielder right now in 2025 based on the season we just saw than Vitinha, right?
People are going to argue Pedri, but I
he won the Nations League. He won a treble. He won the Champions League. Missed me with that, right? Like now, but this can change. Again, these things change. Jude Bellingham was the best midfielder, in my opinion, in the world a year ago. These things change based on what you win. Your form.
Goulet looks like, and Goulet looks like he can come up to that level now.
Goulet looks like, hey, if he keeps this up for years, like it's uncomfortable.
Even Chouameni. Look how good he's been. Like, I don't think people realize how good he's been. As soon as he came off against Dortmund, our midfield was wide open. That guy is a truly anchor. I don't think people realize that. I'm actually going to show you something now. People saying Fabrizio Bomba, yeah, and there is
what
a
is
Bomba.
It?
And I'll show you right now, mate. I'll show you right now. He just put this up.
Show the chat
if you can see it on the thing.
It's loading now.
This is what's just come up.
Yes.
Do you see it?
Rafael Obrador. Interesting. Oh, so we're getting Obrador. Okay. You know what's funny is Obrador has like a chance to be like the next Carreras in a sense, where like he isn't the highest rated in our youth, but he's definitely talented. He's one of those players where like check back in about 2 to 3 years and like his name might pop back up in a sense. Like we might forget about him for a couple of years, but I wouldn't be surprised, because keep this in mind, like we crank out fullbacks more than any other club in the world. And I just want to be clear. Like we
Yeah.
literally crank out the most fullbacks that play in
Hakimi.
professional teams.
Yeah, Theo Hernandez.
You can go
Hakimi.
down the list. There are so many.
Oh.
Alex Jimenez, who people probably don't know about. Like you can just keep going down the list. Again, like we do crank out good fullbacks.
Forte I know as well.
Forte is really. You notice we're not giving him away for a reason.
I don't know why.
Obrador's really good though. I don't want to. I'm not going to bash him by any means. Like he's a good, talented player. Keep an eye on him. He might be back in a few years, and we'll see. But I just want to give my final thoughts on the PSG game, right? So I know it's going to be controversial, but I'm of the opinion that I think GG should start as the 9 with Vinny next to him for the first half, and I'm going to put context behind it. It's not because I think he's better than Kylian Mbappe. It's for me, if you think that you can start the game against fresh like PSG and not press them, we're going to get smoked. Like it's going to happen. I think that you need GG out there putting pressure on Vitinha, Joao Neves every time they're receiving it, putting pressure on Nuno Mendes, putting pressure on Hakimi, right? He presses all of them, right? Essentially in the opponent's zone 14. And
it's happened again. StreamYard, you've had a disaster class, mate. Nah, real talk. I'm gonna be real.
We need that in the first half. Honestly,
yeah.
Like we need that in the first half because again, like if Mbappe does not press in that first half, which he's not going to do, it's going to put us at a detriment, and it's also going to make us twice as tired coming into the second half if we don't put GG in there. I'd rather Mbappe come against halfway tired legs. It's going to be like 90 degrees in that stadium tomorrow, super hot. Let him play a first half getting pressed like a madman from GG. If at halftime, if Vinny's having a stinker, sub him out. I don't care. If GG's dead tired, you tell that kid to literally put it all out on the line that first half. You press every grab.
Flipping now. I StreamYard. I'm going to absolutely show them something big time after this, man. Real talk. Yeah, they've pissed me off big time in this trip. Bro, no, I agree with what Savi said. I don't think this Paris Saint-Germain. Look, my only hope is if Paris Saint-Germain don't take this thing too serious. That is my only hope. That they do not take this thing too serious right now. Like Madrid. Or we put in an extra gear shift in it.
Well, Sam, and that was like my point that I was saying before we started the live stream was PSG are taking this serious. We're taking this serious. Bayern Munich was taking this serious. Every team is taking this serious. So, like, we need to put down this notion that this is just this preseason friendly that no one cares about. Like, put that in the bag. That's done. This competition's here to stay. I'm telling you right now, by 2029, this is going to be the second most important cup a club team can win in world football outside of the Champions League. Champions League will still be number 1 in 2029. We'll see how it is 10 years later, Sam, by the way, because that might change too. But in 2029, this is going to be the second most important competition.
And it depends on what happens with the Super League as well, because that thing ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
Right, but this Club World Cup ain't going nowhere. And it's going to be taken even more and more serious because at the end of the day, and listen, it's going to sound uncomfortable to people, but there's a global audience to this sport. They want their teams to participate in a competition as well. It isn't just about this European hegemony over the sport anymore, right? And you've seen it in this competition. I understand the Brazilian teams have for the most part, all fizzled out. That's fine, but they put up the biggest surprise. I don't think anybody was expecting what they were able to do in this competition. And people would rather tune in at the end of the day to see Real Madrid versus River Plate on a Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time than Real Madrid versus Osasuna on a Wednesday at 3 p.m. And I hate to break it to people, but that's just where the state of things are. And it also speaks to what you mentioned, the Super League. Like the Club World Cup is making this case for the Super League even more relevant, which is if you pit bigger brands against each other more consistently, you're able to do what FIFA just did for the Club World Cup. And what is that? Pay out each team $30 million just to show up, right? Real Madrid have earned $82 million so far, million euros off of playing 5 games.
Wow.
Think about that, right? Whereas if we win La Liga, we get a $60 million winners bonus on top of the TV rights, right? So yeah, I mean, all in, La Liga pays the most. I think it's like 160, 170 million with TV rights. But if you just take the winnings from it, it's less than what we've made in 5 games as the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So that's why it's serious. You get to wear the badge for 4 years as well. And I do think that, in 4 years from now, we're going to be having a completely different conversation. I understand it was hosted in the United States, improper pitches. Put this thing in England. And I bet you the entire conversation changes quickly.
It's going to be completely different. I think we all know where it's going.
Let's answer Goofy's questions before we get out of here.
How about this? Go on, Savi.
What do you guys think Endrick playing right wing? Guti, good question. My first answer to that is it depends on the formation that our coach wants to play. So far, we haven't deployed a right winger. I brought up these points about Franco, right? It's like I haven't seen Xavi play a right winger. So until I see the position available on a starting 11, then it's hard for me to comment on kind of a hypothetical for now. Now, I think Endrick can actually play the right wing pretty decent. He's got a left foot, which is what we need, and he's got the speed to do it. But again, I have to see what my coach is about to do because I haven't seen him deploy wingers, right? He's playing 2 interior forwards and 4 midfielders.
Yeah, agreed. No, I agree, and we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait and see. I think Endrick, and I think Endrick's got a future under Xavi. He wouldn't have done under Carlo, but I think under Xavi definitely. I think Xavi knows what he's gonna have to utilize the squad as much as he can because, like I said, there's more games than ever, and we're gonna need everyone fit. But yeah, listen, Xavi, I think we've come to the end in it, and I think you want to go and watch Chelsea Fluminense, so I'm not gonna hold you back anymore. Big up, mate.
Sam. Hey, apologies on the internet connections. I promise it'll be fixed by the next time we do this, man.
Nah, no worries, man. I got kicked out once. This StreamYard thing has had a disaster class. Oh, and it's happened there as well. Listen, people. Apart from the internet and StreamYard being an absolute see you next Tuesday. Big up, everyone. I've enjoyed this show. My first ever live stream. Actually, I did not plan to do a live stream for actually some time. I was just gonna think about doing uploads, but then I was speaking to someone and I was like, bro, do you know what? Let's just hit Sylvia, but let's just do this. Why not, shall we? And this is one of my good pals. We've had things happen with each other a lot. And listen, people, I've enjoyed the show. Hope you all have enjoyed. This is the first of many coming out. Tomorrow, after this, you're gonna get my reaction from the Madrid PSG game. And listen, whatever happens, please and please and please, Madrid, whatever flipping happens, do not get embarrassed tomorrow. Because if you get embarrassed, I'm going to lose my head. So I better see a performance. If we don't win, but you give 110%, then fair enough. But I better see a proper bloody performance. Otherwise, I'm going to have huge trouble with you, man. But it is what it is. Listen, people, we're going. Me and Salvi, we're going, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all tomorrow. And yeah, hit the notification bell, and you're going to see me soon on drop another video tomorrow on the review of the PSG Real Madrid game. Until then, people, take care, and I'll speak to you next time. Have a good time. Bye-bye.